Hey, it's Taylor, and in this video, we're going to be continuing with Module 4 of my step-by-step new seller checklist, product research and validation. So let's get into it. If you're new to the channel, I'm Taylor the Ecom RN. I started selling on Amazon in 2023. I went on to do over $100,000 profit in my first year. I currently do about $35,000 a month, and I want to show you how to do the same. All right, so we're back here with the step-by-step new seller checklist. We're on module 4, product research and validation. We've been spending quite some time on this module because it is very important. Last video, we went through some product research methods and some product software tools. And I asked you to make a copy of the idea generator and start filling that in, as well as start with your product opportunity sheet and find at least 10 different product opportunities. So in this video, what I want to do is show you how to start validating product ideas and really refining your research. So some extra tools that might come in handy at this step is Google Trends, a product scorecard, and the keyword sales estimator. So we'll go over those things quickly, but first let's check back in on our product opportunity sheet and I'll show you how I start refining some of these ideas. So once you've come up with about 10 product opportunities or so, you're going to start refining, and that process is going to look something like this. You're going to come over and you're going to note the amount of reviews for the top 3 competitors, and if there are tons of reviews and the review rating is very high for each of these, then that's going to be a negative point against these products. As you come further over, we're actually going to come all the way over here to our estimated profit margin. And here we want to have something that is ideally close to $10. Now, I know a lot of people have like a cutoff of 10. They won't mess with products that don't do $10 profit per. We just want to see how close we can get to that number. Obviously, if it's higher, it's better. We want to note here that, for example, $3.49, that's not enough profit margin per unit to really make this worthwhile. And then lastly, we're going to look at our margin. So this is important because if you don't have enough margin here to have some room left over to run ads, it's going to be very hard to be profitable. Ideally, what we want is a margin of at least 30 to 35%, and anything higher than that is even better. What we definitely don't want is something like this, a 12% margin off the bat. That is going to be incredibly hard to sell profitably long term. So I would stay clear of anything with a profit margin below 25% for sure. All right, if you left any comments here, or you had any negative feedback or positive feedback about the product, that's more where we're going to start getting into the nitty gritty of how we're going to refine these product ideas. So let me pull back up my Amazon and my Helium 10 and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so we're back here with our trusty stainless steel oil filter pot. If you remember this, we've looked at this product a couple times. I'll just go over again quickly how I'm thinking about refining these product ideas and getting more data to help me determine which product opportunity is best. So I've pulled up my Helium 10 X-ray feature here, and there's a couple things that help me determine how to move forward with a product. So first, we're looking at this average review rating. And we can see here, we have a couple products that are relatively well rated, highly rated, but several that aren't as high rated that are still making pretty good sales. So that's a good indicator. And then furthermore, we can see not very many reviews on these products. So definitely some space to come in. No one is super well established in this niche yet as like the top dog. So that's also a good sign. Another thing we can do here is look at the revenue across all these products. And you can see that there's a pretty even distribution of the revenue, right? From 60 down to 12,000. That's actually a pretty tight spread for these first 5 or 6 listings. Frequently you'll see something where the number 1 product is doing like over $100,000 more revenue than the next one down the list. And there's these big gaps between the first one and the second, and then between the second and the third, and so on, which would kind of make me worried that I'd be coming in as a new seller and it would be really hard to bump up into those higher revenue brackets. So just another piece of data to keep in mind, how tight is the spread here on the revenue across the top sellers. And as I showed in a previous video, we can actually come into one of these products here and we can analyze the reviews to see if there's any meaningful improvements that we could make to the product. So for this, I typically filter the review ratings, and I filter them by usually the 2, 3, and 4-star reviews. You can see this one doesn't have any 2-star reviews, so I'm going to leave the 1-star reviews in and we'll apply the filters. And then what I do is I export this table. It will download a file and it will look something like this. Okay, so they download this as like an Excel spreadsheet. You're just mostly interested in the body here. This is the actual review. So you can copy paste that and I copy paste it into ChatGPT. And if you've seen the previous video, you know I ask it to do a few things. I ask ChatGPT to tell me, why do people buy it? What do they like most about it? What do they like least about it? What are 3 ways that it could be improved? And who is the customer avatar that is buying this product? Then I copy paste all the reviews in, and I ask ChatGPT to analyze them. And we can see here that when we come down to what do they like least and what are 3 ways it could be improved, we have this issue here of the handle getting too hot and improvements to the handle design. So that seems like something that could feasibly be done. So I like that. That would be something that I would note on my product opportunity sheet in the comments. Hey, this looks like something that I could reasonably improve, and I could make it better and possibly stand out in that way. All right, but for something that's a little different, let's say you're trying to do like a one-of-one product, or you want to be a killer brand. And you might remember that we had this hip and joint supplement for large dogs. Now we could do something similar in this instance where we could analyze the reviews and see what people like, what they don't like. But mostly what we're interested in is trying to estimate how many sales we could reasonably capture if we niche this down, or if we are finding something that is a one-of-one product. So to do that, what we want is our keyword estimator tool. So first we're gonna come over here and we're gonna find those keywords that are most closely relevant to our product, like dog joint supplement for large breed, etc., etc., and we can see all the search volume numbers here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up this keyword sales estimator. This takes the keywords that you can reasonably expect to rank for and allows you to calculate how many sales you're likely to get per month off of those keywords. And this has to do with what position you are ranked in the organic search. You can see here these are the values. We're going to put in that it's a conversion rate on clicks of 10%, which is kind of the average for the industry. And then you'll see that by rank, you get a certain percent of clicks. So we know, for instance, that the top 3 organic ranks get almost 70%, 70 to 80% of all of the sales. Then we further know that the number 1 product gets almost half of that. So you'll see here that 40% of the clicks will go to the number 1, then about 19% to 2, 10 to 3, and so on. If you're down here at number 10 or lower, you're only going to get about 1% of the clicks or even less. So that's why being able to rank organically is so important. And that's why you really want to strive to be in the top half of that first page, if not one of these top 3 products where you're actually getting the most clicks. So what we're going to do here is just put in really quickly some of those keywords. So we have this one here, and we're going to take the associated search volume, and we're going to just keep doing this for all of these that aren't branded. So like woofs, that's a branded search. We're not going to include that because it's not reasonable that we're going to actually capture those sales. They're searching specifically for that brand. But this one here is probably a good one, and so on down the list. So I think you get the point. I've taken the top 6 keyword searches there and put in the keywords and also put in the associated volume. And now what we'll do is we'll put in the rank that we think we can get. And as you know, there's nobody that's currently branded or specifically offering these supplements for a large breed dog in particular. So I think we can rank pretty highly. I think we can go ahead and put 1s and 2s in for a lot of these. So we'll just put 2s in down the board, being kind of conservative. And then we'll see here we come down to the bottom and we're doing about over 100 units a month in estimated sales just from this quick cursory assessment of the keywords. Now, this was not by any means all the keywords. You can see here I only made it down to here, but there are more keywords further down the list. And like I said, it's potentially the case that we could rank number 1 for some of these, and that would change these numbers considerably. So just for example, if we were to change these all to 1s and bring that down here, we'll see we almost doubled our sales to about 200 units a month. So that's one way that you can use the keyword search traffic to estimate your sales if the exact product that you're looking for doesn't exist and there isn't anything that you can base your sales numbers off of. Another tool I want to show you really quickly is a product opportunity scorecard. So on this, you can again kind of rate each of your product ideas. So if we make this, and it's for large breeds in particular, there are a couple others. So I would say, since there are a couple others in that niche, I would put maybe a 6 out of 10 there. How much better? Well, that's hard to say. There are some big hitters, so maybe we're a 6 out of 10 there as well. But how brandable? This I think is quite brandable because nobody else is really particularly focused on large breed dogs, and that's a pretty specific niche that I think we could really make pop. So I'm going to put a 9. How viral? That's hard to say, but I mean, pet products are super popular, especially something like Chews, which are very popular right now. I'm guessing that neither of those other brands, looking a little more old school, have really capitalized on social media. So I'm going to give us a pretty high score for that one. It's going to be quite easy to ship because it's just supplements. I don't know if it's going to be very premium. Reorder potential is very high, right? This is definitely something that people would be on subscribe and save for. Influencers likely to promote. I think this one we could score really high, like a 9, because they're going to be showing off the product with their dog. It's going to be at a great price point for the influencers, right? We could probably sell this for around $40, which is giving them a nice margin for their commission. Profitability is also going to be huge on a lot of these supplements, so I'm going to put a 9. Easy to manufacture. Again, this is probably a white label product that we can just tweak, so I'm going to say 9 there. Barrier to entry, though, I'm going to say is quite high. I'm going to say that that's probably an 8 because there are already people in this niche, and who knows what the private label process will be like on this product. The potential market for this product is huge. We already saw, right? I think this is definitely a 9. It's a massive, massive niche. How much competition? There is quite a bit. I'm going to put an 8 there. I wouldn't say this trend is growing or falling. I think it's kind of staying still, but at a pretty high level. And it is evergreen, so I'm going to put actually a 9 here because it's obviously something that people buy year round. And then the search volume is definitely there. We've already seen that. So when we calculate all that together, we get a total score of about 85 or a B. So this is a great product. So that's just another resource, another thought exercise you can do to help you kind of think about your product, especially if it's a product that's not actually for sale yet on the market and there's not a competitor that you can really compare yourself to. All right, so a quick recap. We've been doing our product research. We got about 10 products down on our product opportunity sheet and we're refining them. If they're all on the product opportunity sheet, it makes it very easy to go through and look at the margin. If the margin is less than 25%, we're not going to pursue it. We want something ideally around 35% or higher. Also, if you come over and your estimated profit is much lower than $10, that's also going to be a disqualifier. We don't want to mess with that. And like I said, if you're looking through on your Helium 10 and all of the competitors have a lot of reviews and they all have a very high average rating, that's also going to be something that we probably don't want to pursue. Then again, if we have a product that is a one-of-one product, we can use this keyword sales estimator tool to see how many sales we might be able to anticipate. And we can use the product scorecard to see how well this product looks on paper as we start to dive into it more and more specifically. Real quick, if you forget how to find the FBA fee, you can actually just go to this quick revenue calculator that Amazon provides. It's linked there. All you do is add the ASIN of the product in here, and it will tell you approximately how much it is to pick, pack, and ship that product. Okay, and last but not least, if you think you have picked and narrowed down to your best product, I want you to go ahead and schedule a call and you're gonna pitch that product idea to me. So I want you to prepare, like a 2 to 3 minute little sales pitch on why you think that product is the best product. You're gonna go ahead and explain to me why, and I'll give you my feedback. If it looks good, then we'll go ahead and move forward. All right, that does it for this video as we wrap up module 4 of the step-by-step checklist, product research and validation. If you'd like feedback on your idea, go ahead and schedule your one-on-one call. You can do so on my free Skool community. The link is in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.